I was wanting to do a video about an issue that happened about a month ago. And a car was exiting the belt line and it ended up going into the water retention pond. And it scathed a car that was getting on to the belt line on the oncoming ramp. Just barely missed a head-on collision. The driver of that vehicle, his name was Justin M. And what happened is there was a white car with a lady in it, and she went into the retention pond after going across a couple of medians and a couple of roads. Boom, made a big splash. I was the second on the scene to it. The car started sinking, and he actually got the lady out because she did go underwater. And she was a big girl. So one thing I do is I keep a life jacket with me, and I had this one in particular that day. Try to keep it fully extended, ready to deploy. And this jacket, when the police finally showed up after Justin was stabilized on the sunk car, holding the lady, both of them embracing, standing on the car while it was submerged, the police and fire department come. The police were first on the scene. And this one cop immediately jumped in as he was coming down the hill, and I said, "No, don't jump. You have too much equipment on. It's too deep." He started sinking, and I threw him this life jacket. He ends up coming back and recanting their story because the original News 15 only gave credit to the fire department and the police. They didn't give credit to this guy, Justin M., or me. But the cop felt it was real necessary to come back and explain a little bit of the situation. But here's the thing that they did. They ended up blurring out my face. So you don't get any credit for that. But if they try to prosecute you, right, they slandered you all up and down. But not when you do a good deed. So I threw this life jacket to that cop, and he ended up admitting on camera, "Whoever that guy was with that life jacket, thank you. You saved me." So a lesson I learned out of that is now I take two. This person in particular, the lady, big girl, hysterical. That's where you put the life saver first responder, civilian first responder, in jeopardy of them drowning, trying to save a hysterical person. So now I have two. And generally I have this here. You can blow this guy up. When you throw it to the person in the water, they can pop the cap off, put this around their neck, start blowing it up, and use it as a flotation device. But until we get there, we do this. And right now, I don't know why. See, I don't have this ready and deployed, so there's always a bunch of lessons to be learned. That critical time is what they call the golden hour of being ready and on the spot. Okay, so it was attached. I just have to remember that that tether is pigtailed on there and tucked in. So in Wisconsin, southern Wisconsin where I live, and all through, even when I'm kayaking, ice fishing, I'm always around water. And nowadays you hear so many people getting in water and drowning right? Either due to storms or, you just don't know. So I'm going to deploy this guy to show you. So I took this hand brace off that was hooked here. This is now around my wrist and free coming out of the bag. I'm going to use the bag handle to help me aim, and I'm going to shoot it to that gap over there. Okay? So there's 20 yards, and I did not sling it that far trying to work on accuracy. I was meaning for this gap over here. So once the person that you're trying to assist receives the bag, like I said, they pop this cap off and start blowing it up like a life jacket. This goes around their neck. And then they can just clutch the bag, and as you tether them back with the pull rope, the white rope was added, and this camouflage looking rope was added to the situation. So it's just a little small snippet of what I do to try to help people that I come across. It's just in my nature, all right? I've had a lot of shit happen to me in life, but I just keep going. If it's in your nature, it's in your nature to help. There's no, denying that. So this is a roadside trauma first aid kit. Israeli bandages. Okay. Gloves. There's a tourniquet in here. Sanitized tourniquet. Other thing is, I carry this fire blanket. Alright. I have 3 of them total. One in the basement, one next to the kitchen stove, and one in the vehicle. So, let's Willie make it outdoors. Hope that information helped.